Alright, hello. This is DVD number 2. This is where I get into the meat of the subject. I start showing on my big screen the citations and such, the verses that I have copied and pasted from my programs and all. And basically this is the reason why I know God called me. Sometime back in 2011, it was about 6 a.m. and I was on my computer watching TV. A man named Pastor Arnold Murray of the Shepherd's Chapel was on. They still broadcast a show. It's on WMRR in the mornings. I used to like him because he used to translate like I did, so I thought. I disagreed with him about the mark of the beast, and I always thought he talked against the Canaanites, which I could never understand. But that morning, during his question time and answer time, I guess too, yeah, he said the word Kenite. What? Kenite? In all my years, I have never heard this word, nor do I remember reading about them. Just then, a thought popped in my head. Google Shepherd's Chapel and you'll find out. Sure enough, someone was recording his TV shows and posted them on their YouTube page. Now this guy had like 1,200 videos on his on the first one I picked. Wow, 1,200 videos. Now I joined YouTube in 2009. In 2010, I was able to upload one of my videos of that music that you just watched. If you watched the first video, I lose the camera and I did nothing else till about the middle of 2011 when I Googled this TV show. I knew nothing about YouTube, so I studied it and I found out I could favor it and I could come back to it because I had to leave. I had to go to VA, I think, that morning. I knew he had a sermon on the subject because that's how he made his money. He sold his sermons. First, there were just the cassettes, and now, of course, CDs and DVDs. I also subscribed to the guy's channel, the one I found that was posting the videos. But I did not know I'd be emailed every time he loaded a video because I linked everything. The very next morning, the very first email I got, because the very first thing I really ever done with YouTube, can you guess what it was about? Kenites. I said, what? Where'd this come from? Very next morning, right here, I knew God was involved in this somehow. Like, I mean, what are the odds for this to happen on its own without some kind of divine intervention, man? I mean, I got better odds of winning the lottery. I don't do signs from God. I mean, I don't believe they're like they were in the Bible times. There was a time for them, and his time is past. I really believed in like that until now. I didn't know what to think about this even. But here's the preacher man's idea, okay? Because when I watched the video, I did watch the video, okay? And this is what basically his idea. The Kenites are on this earth today and supposed to be descended from the devil himself, from Cain, Adam's son. He said the first sin was the devil raping Eve and having a homosexual contact with Adam. And Abel was Adam's son, and Cain was the devil's son, and they were biological twins. Okay, I didn't add this into my outline, but I didn't want to mention, see, the devil was an angel that's fallen, okay? Now, this same gentleman believes in what they call the Nephilim. They were giants, okay? I mean, meaning that angels supposedly mated with women, and all of a sudden giants are born. Well, if the devil mated with Cain, raped Cain, hang on a minute. If the devil raped Eve, and Cain was the devil's son, the Cain would have been a giant. And it doesn't say that. Okay? It would too. Okay. Anyway, they were biological twins. He claimed God made all, and this is the strangest claim, okay? He claimed God made all the other, quote, races on the sixth day, and then he made Adam and Eve later to reign over them. Here's the picture. You got all these so-called, in his mind, Neanderthal-like people running all over the place, and he said that Adam and Eve were supposed to be the spiritual guide. Now he said, would God send, would God send two naked people that were not even aware they're naked to these Neanderthals? Whatever. Anyway, no, I want to note though, the secular world religious view, and I forgot to get the World Religion book. It's in my van because I haven't used it for other reasons. The secular world religion view on the account of Adam, when God wrote how He created Adam, they believe this to be a second creation. And of course, the word Adam translates from English, translates from Hebrew to English as ruddy, or with a pink or red-like appearance. Now he takes this to mean white people, and that may well be. But God put all the genes of all mankind in Adam and Eve. And I cite this by Isaac's two sons. One biological mother, one biological father, who had two biological twins, two different looking people and two different complete races. But the bottom line is we are all the human race, period. Also, he claimed they survived the flood, thus they're here today because he called them the beast of the field. The Bible says explicitly, where was it? I should have wrote that down, I forgot, that only eight souls were saved in the flood. This means by his standard, there are some races that have no soul. Come on, give me a break. I also found videos that show that the preacher to be nothing more than a white supremacist. I lost all respect for him then. But I will make note, there were some of his ideas that I borrowed from, not because I got it from him. I heard it earlier. You'll see as I explain that later. Because this is what I've done for everything I've been looking at to find the truth. I more or less take the best from everything, as long as it makes rational sense and agrees with the written word of God as I see translated in my programs. Turns out Canaanite is translated more like Smiths, and Moses was married to him. If these were the descendants of the double, do you think God would let Moses marry one? And this is where I will focus the camera on my screen, because I have the copy and paste for my program in my hard drive. Actually, I think I got it on the flash drive, whatever. And I'll let you read the first time Canaanite is mentioned, and then I'll let you see what the definition of all this is about. Okay, and then what the scholars say about this. Okay, hang on a minute. Coffee break. Okay, let me get it focused in. Okay, that's kind of weird because it's going to be little, I don't know how this is going to show in the final film. Okay, because as I'm looking in the mirror, I mean, not in the mirror, but as I'm looking in the little window here, that it's kind of, I don't know if y'all can see that. I hope you can. Either way, I am going to read it, because I don't know, I can't tell until I film. I can't tell until I look at the film. Anyway, now let me read this. Anyway, and I just took the portion from Judges 16 and 17 there. Okay, and the children of the Kenite, Moses' father-in-law, went up out of the city of palm tree, and then it goes on from there. But I don't need that. Okay, what I do is I go to the number right after Kenite, which is underlined. Actually, word process underlined because that's a misspelled word. Anyway, then you get the number, and this is what is basically showing you. I don't know. It's pronounced Caney, and it has some roots and stuff. And there's only two places there, and then in Chronicles, and it's basically, cannot remember, the tribe of Cajun a Cajun, a Kenite. Okay, he wasn't descendant of Cain, C-A-I-N, Cain in the beginning. Okay, his people, him and his descendants were destroyed along the rest of the earth in the flood. Okay, and then, okay, then you got the scholar description. Okay, and it says this tribe did not descend from Adam's son Cain, whose descendants were destroyed by the flood. It just said that. But were perhaps so named because of the occupation, metalworking. Yeah, see what I told you, smiths, which is metalworking, in case you guys don't know that. Their origin cannot be determined. Okay, our word occurs 15 times. These people appear as dwellers amongst the Canaanites, and later amongst the Mennonites. And although probably not physically descended from either, whatever KD, what is it? Where is it at? KD, or I don't know what that means. The Kenites living in Canaan were among the enemies of Israel, cursed by Balaam. The Kenites immediately became allied to Israel. The Old Testament was selective, so on and so forth. You know, in other words, this guy was full of nonsense. You know. Now, let's see. Okay, now here's. I'm gonna go ahead and put it back on me. I don't have to, but I'm going to go back to the TV in a minute. I don't know how that's going to focus in. Boy, this boy. I got to back it off a little. Okay, back up. All right, let's see what that does. That's good enough. Anyway, now, for those of you who've been on YouTube, you'll know that when you're watching a video, you just looking for something videos to watch. You have your little screen, your main video you're watching, and you have all these thumbnails come up on the right with related videos. And from my way I see it, a lot of times they're moved up for different reasons. They moved up because they get a lot of hits, and primarily if you allow them to advertise, they'll move you up the food chain, so that the opportunity for people to see your thumbnail related a video to whatever they're watching is better. However, I'm checking this white supremacist so-called preacher story out, and as I'm doing that, I'm looking at the thumbnails. Now, I found enough thumbnails to find that he wasn't the only one that had this attitude. There was a guy way back before him that more or less probably, I don't know when this attitude started. Okay, I really don't know. But anyway, all of a sudden this video pops up. Lucifer Rising, the Satanic Illuminati Conspiracy. Whoa, where did this come from? And at that time, I knew the word Illuminati, but I wasn't quite sure why. Okay, at the time. But it's all the information I end up seeing blew me away. See, since '73, when I was first alerted by God about how the Antichrist system is going to proceed, I've been watching it ever since. And when I discovered I didn't know there was such thing. And this is the point. I did not know there was a such thing as a conspiracy theory. I wasn't looking for it. This found me, and I wouldn't have found that if I wasn't showing the thing about the Kenite the next morning when I wasn't even looking for that. I was gonna go look for it. I was gonna look through that 1,200 videos and hope I'd find him recording that particular message. If not, I knew how to get a hold of it because he sells the messages. So I was going to get that message. So it happened, God gave it to me. I didn't know how to get that. I mean, and that's the thing. Nobody can tell me different. Can anybody out there explain to me how that happened the next morning? Anybody. Without divine intervention. And it was when I found the conspiracy theory that I understand the divine intervention. Because what I found is that the Antichrist system is already here. They're just waiting. Why do you think the left is so mad? They thought 2017 was it. They thought Hillary Clinton was going to get in. They thought, my God, we can chip everybody. They thought, oh my goodness. And so it's here. And I mean, when I first heard of this, I freaked out, man. And that, I mean, that sent me, and that actually finished a lifetime of stuff. And then what I discovered since then, this is why I'm doing this video. Okay, I'm going to start with the conspiracy theory, show you some of the things that I found, have you research the rest of it yourself, because I got to go on to the gap theory, which is more for the non-believer, and for me to debunk the scientists, which I have the intention of doing, and then it's for the believer. However, the rapture theory is most definitely for the believer, or those of you who call yourself Christians. And that's the most. That might be just one DVD by itself. Okay, I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, I found. Like I said, I found all kinds of crud. Okay, and oh yeah, that's what I was saying. I just remember I left after I got off track. You know, I'm going to get off track here and there. The Holy Spirit's going to kick in. But I see, like I said, I knew the word Illuminati, but I didn't know why. But I did find out right away. See, as odds would have it, and then as I figured out, once I found this Illuminati, once I looked at all my back past, and I realized God's been doing this all along. I just hadn't been paying attention. Okay? Because since that point that I found the Illuminati, okay, things have been just popping in here, and I'm going to be explaining all that as I go to show you that God is still with me even now. Okay? I became homeless, this, that, and the other, and I was in a storage bin. That's when I discovered I was a glorified storage bin, more of a garage. I built a shelter in the back, and of course I was there for. But if I wasn't there, I would have never discovered the Kenite thing and all that, nor would I have done all this research and everything. But at that time, I had cable still, and I was finding out about the Illuminati online from the people that was exposing the conspiracy theorists, the conspiracy theorists exposing the people that were exposing the conspiracy, and I'm watching it on TV with that Angels and Demons movie. Now, the Angels and Demons movie was Illuminati this and Illuminati that, Illuminati killed this priest, and then right at the end, oh, whoa, no, this other priest killed that priest, and there's no such thing as Illuminati. But however, a guy named Alex Jones exposed them. I'll be getting to that as I go, and I'll show you. That's part of my citations. I will show you what I found online, and they're all on my YouTube page. I got thumbnails, a lot of things you'll see. Okay, what I found online, because I got it all on these flash drives, and that's part of the whole thing that I'm doing this for. Let's see where I'm at here. All right, that's about it tonight. Like I said, what that video. What all this led me to is make me understand what's really going on in the world. I know that things was I learned that things were ready, and it scared the daylights out of me. It caught me off guard. I showed a friend that was good in the computer what I found. He freaked out like I did, and he went online, and then he found out about satanic Hollywood, satanic music industry, where these people were selling their souls to get rich quick. And they get a demon possessed to do some of the things they do. In movies, it's called the muse. In music, at least in rap, it is called the Rain Man. There's that one white guy, Eminem, or one of those guys. I seen a rap. My friend ran across a rap where he called himself a Rain Man, and then they get possessed, and they could. Oh, anyway. And like I said, it seems that this demon gets into people's heads and won't shut up. This was actually Michael Jackson's problem. He had, when you sign this contract, you get this. Hang on a minute, I'm getting behind myself. This is why he needed the drugs to sleep. He was OD'd when he was about to expose the truth to the world of what was going on with all of this. Okay, a lot of the people that, a lot of the greats that die of OD and everything, either they're committing suicide because they're sorry they made the deal with the devil, or they're being killed because they want out, or whatever. It is rock till you drop. And that's why you still see all these old guys still playing. I'm 62 when I played, but I've yet to play on stage, and I have yet to make a dime off any of this music. I mean, if I had this done in when I was youth, and I was able to, you know, tour concerts, and I had a bankroll, I guarantee you I'd be on some island somewhere kicking back. I wouldn't be struggling and everything right now, living on just Social Security and stuff. No way, you know. But they have to till they die. That's it. That's what I learned. Okay. Anyway, again, God intervenes while finding out about the satanic music industry. At the same time, within a few days of a couple of weeks of all this. Where was I at here? A movie was playing on cable with David Bowie, and that movie was, I mean, the pictures that were shown was the devil in your face. I mean, demon devil pictures and everything. I mean, it's boom, devil in your face, man. And he said in the movie that it's better to give up and give in. You'll get rich quicker. Why do you think the old rockers keep going? Is rock till you drop. And this is when I knew God for sure was behind this. He was commissioning me to learn the truth and spread the word. The Antichrist system is up and ready to go. The New World Order people are behind it all. The George Soros and all these guys, okay? All the satanic left-wing liberal Democrats. They're all behind it. They want the New World Order. They want the Antichrist system. That's what all that's about. Okay, everything. That's all about the Antichrist system. Period. People wake up. They thought Hillary was going to get it and usher in. One of the sites. Well, you see. I compared to what I was learning to the scripture. All the info had to be sorted out, the good and the bad, because I mean, there was a lot of garbage. You'd be surprised some of the stupid crap I found out, especially when it came to that 2012 end of the world thing. Well, I don't want to get into that. That's not even wasting my breath. All this stuff I didn't know, and like I said, I panicked for a while until I found a Christian documentary that helped explain some of the things. Like, bottom line, I was not looking for any of this. It all found me. Oh, and one more thing. Hang on. One more thing. I got it. My own spelling. One more thing. On my other YouTube page where I was just listening to music, and of course finding about satanic music, that kind of ruined that too. A video popped up called Soul Travelers. It was a 5-hour video, and the images I seen on the thumbnail was satanic. I knew that, okay, and I thought it was just bad satanic music. But come to find out, when I came back to it to watch, it was a person in the occult that he wanted to expose the Freemasons, the Illuminati, and all the satanic church activity, the devil activity, and he exposed the people and gave the names, and oh my goodness. And he said, this may not be what you believe, but this is what they believe, and I mean, my goodness. Soul Travelers, YouTube took it off, and then I think it got back on. You know how things, once you get something on the web, it's going to pop up somewhere, and it's going to hard to get rid of it. I don't know if they took it off again. I haven't checked lately. But anyway, I got the picture of what the thumbnail looked like, so that way you can find it. Anyway, like I says, this video actually helped confirm what was being said by the Christians, but with no bias. And again, it found me, not it. Anyway, so this is how I found out about the conspiracy theory. And to confirm that there is truth to this, I Googled Earth, the Bohemian Grove. It was something else. I think Bohemian Grove is what my friend found about. No, wait a minute. I ran across Alex Jones first. Okay, I found Alex Jones through all this conspiracy stuff. And after Alex Jones exposed the satanic owl ritual, I Googled Earth it. once I figured out where it was at in California, and they pixelated the entire bird's eye. That was when the Google Earth was bird's eye view only. It wasn't the 3D they got now. And now you can't get in at all because you're not allowed in. And like I said, Alex Jones exposed this satanic owl ritual where they say it's called cremation of care, okay, where they supposedly burn a fake sacrifice. Of course, nobody really knows because nobody can get in there to find out. Alex Jones filmed this from across the lake. You could put in Bohemian Grove and you'll find the video and you can see for yourself. I just got a picture of the owl thing and the guys, ex-presidents, they show them going in there, okay, and into the gate. I seen old man President Bush go in there, okay. Anyway, that's how I found out. Like I said, of course, like I said, that's how I found out. But anyway, it was when they pixelated that area out. That told me there was something for sure in this, because why would they do that? I can understand pixelating out a secret military installation, okay, but I can go on Google Earth and I can see the top of this air base across the bay here. So I mean, that's still not an excuse, you know. So they had something high, and that is what I knew. And the Illuminati lately, since they've been exposed, they're hiding in plain sight, and the Illuminati marks their territory like a dog going on trees and such. They use what they call the all-seeing eye of Ra, which they get from the Egyptians, and that is what's on our dollar bill, buddy. Okay, is it all? And then I mean, there's if you go to the web, you'll find all the stuff that's on the dollar bill. You know, there's a little micro dot owl on the back side, on the front of it, whatever, in the little corner. That if you don't know it's there, and you need a magnifying glass to see it, and it's still hard to see. Okay. That's the owl god that they're worshiping, that I'm going to show the picture of in a minute here. Okay? Where was I at? Anyway, one time about 2 years ago, I was in a craft store, Michael's craft store, and there was a whole rack of charm-like items, and 2/3 of it was Eye of the Ra stuff, okay, to make like medallions and different things out of. And the rest was Buddha and Hindu, which not as bad, but oh well, you know. But anyway, during these videos, they told me to watch for black and white checkerboard. It's a Freemason sign. And I saw a Disney show that where the whole stage and even the bass drum was a checkerboard. It was called, initially, these characters showed up on a show called Sunny with something or other. It was about this country western girl goes to Hollywood, and she's on a children's variety show like Laughing was, and this other boy, he was a star. He was a star of top star of this children's what do you call it, soap opera. And there was all this conflict back and forth. But anyway, and then of course the Sunny girl, she was a sweet little thing, and they got together, and all of a sudden that show disappeared. And see, that's unlike Disney, because Disney always finishes their shows, even their cartoons, they bring it to a closure, unless they want to make another sequel out of it, which, you know, that's you can blame what's his name? I forgot. No, I'll tell you later. Anyway, so then she disappears, and a whole new show popped up, and it was the variety, the fake variety laughing style show that was on the other show actually became a variety show, and all these characters, the whole demeanor changed, and this top dog, and he was a singer too, and he had albums, and this top dog star of the other show all of a sudden was just mixed in with the whole group, and they threw some adults in there. And anyway, I see some all see not, but then I saw the signs in old movies and TV shows and cartoons. My goodness! And then I watched, and I think I still have it somewhere in my YouTube saving things. But there was a 3-hour documentary on the Masons. that this English guy did, hour at a time. And I didn't know until he said that, but do you know the Freemasons started Hollywood? And one thing about the Freemasons people don't know, and even Freemasons don't know, okay, is that it's satanic, okay? That according to the Soul Traveler guy, when you become a 33rd degree Freemason, you sell your soul to the devil. That's the whole procedure. And of course, the black checkerboard, that's their court, okay? That's where the black checkerboard comes in. And to prove that the Freemasons are satanic is this right here. My dad was a Freemason. I knew he was involved in they call it Eastern Stars. They have the Freemasons has all these sidekicks, okay? But I didn't know until my dad died and we found the certificate that he was a 32nd degree Freemason. But see, I found out when I volunteered at the VA that a lot of military guys are 32nd degrees. So you can earn up to 32nd. But to get to 33rd, I found out when I asked them there, the old guys, they're all dead now. They're all World War II guys and stuff, you know, whatever. But when I asked them, they says you could earn the 32nd, but you get appointed the 33rd. So anyway, this is the plate and license plate of the Eastern Star thing, and this, of course, the one on. Hang on, I'm trying to see. This one right here is the regular Freemason sign, and this is the Eastern Star sign. Now notice that the point is down. Okay. Now notice the colors of the 5 points. I'm going to tell you in a minute what all that means. And here's their plate. Again, this is the way it's supposed to be. It's hard to do when I'm reading the camera. See, and again, that is supposed to be the up part of the plate. Now, the history of the star. When for those that don't know, the truth of the 5-point star is used in witchcraft and satanic rituals. Okay, the witchcraft is Wicca. White point up. Satanic is point down. Now I found out exactly what that means. Now if you notice the different colors here, right? Okay, they represent the 4 elements: earth, wind, fire, and water. Okay, the white one on the top represents spirit. Okay, now for the concept, now as God puts down all wizardry stuff, witchcraft, all that. Okay, so there is no white witches and whatever. Okay, so that's bottom line on that. I'm going to be clear. But however, the Wicca's concept and the white wizard whatever's concept is that the spirit. Seeing how the spirit is the top point, you have to have when you have it up, the spirit controls the rest. The spirit controls more or less the evil. The white witches and supposedly and the white wizards supposedly have power of the evil. So what the Satanists do, they insult that by turning it upside down so that evil has power over the spirit. Okay, which if you answer Satanism, that's really pretty well. I mean, you know, you think all these people running around killing everybody, and I mean, whether people believe it or not, or know this or not, probably half or more of the people locked up in these insane asylums are possessed with demons. They're not crazy. They're possessed with demons. That's where all these voices in the freaking heads coming from. Demons talking to them, man. Dude, you know. Anyway, where was I at here? Yeah, like I said, I already told you about the Freemason thing. Anyway, there is too much to talk about this whole subject right now. I want to get on to the gap theory and the other. Just Google the Freemason, Google Illuminati, Google 666, and you'll find the very chip. And I will be talking about that yet. Or better yet, Google this Google conspiracy theory, and you'll be running into all kinds of things. Either way, it will lead you to all I found. Or if you want to make it easy, go to my YouTube page. It's DLWorks7734. Okay, that's my YouTube page. You navigate to my favorites, and you'll see all the stuff that I've seen. Some is just for curiosity. There is other information I'm not going to get into right now. But there's quite a bit on there. But a lot of conspiracy theory, a lot of 666, very chip, Antichrist, Mark of the Beast stuff, and all that. And some of these right here, I'm going to be show. This is where I'm going to focus back on the screen, and I'm going to click on the. Where am I at here? Hang on a minute. Is this? I got to click on. Let me do this. All right, I gotta click on my files, and I gotta get into these flash drives where I got all these pictures and citations. And then I'm gonna focus on the screen, and it's pretty well gonna stay up there from that point on, because of what I'm doing. Ooh, yeah, figures that. Just let it load here. Oh, which one's which now? I forgot. Hang on, let me make sure I know which one I'm punching on, so I'm getting the right one first. That ain't it. That's the one there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start clicking on this stuff and explain it as I go. Alright? So let me get the camera. Actually, you know what I'm going to do here? My program can blend all this together. I'm kind of, I'm sitting here in this, my piano chair, and my back hurting right now. I am going to stop right here, pause it, because then I can blend it all together with my program. And that's how it goes. This camera I'm using splits things up anyway, so I have to blend it all together one way or another in order to fit the whole 2 hours that I have available in the DVDs. And I've only done 36 minutes. I'm almost done with the conspiracy theory. So when I run through these pictures, so you'll see. So I'll go ahead and close it off now, and I'll be back in a few minutes. And I have everything set up, and when I start again, the camera will be concentrated on the screen. All right, thank you. Okay, people, I'm back. This is where you'll just see primarily the screen. Now, of course, these are in my hard drive, and what I thought was a virus or something actually turned out to be my hard drive acting up. So it's going to take a minute to load some of these each time I put on it. I will say right here, I don't think I mentioned this, I was supposed to do this at a church. Had a beautiful stage, a big huge screen, where they would have the computer where you can project, computer projector. Oh my goodness. And I wanted that big screen so that you guys can see this better, because it's important for you to see these pictures. So that fell through because the guy that claimed to be the pastor, well, I'll deal with that. He didn't understand nothing about it. I already had the chapel. We had it arranged, and then the week before, I was supposed to do this on stage. I already paid this guy that was going to run the computer and do the flash drive thing that I'm about ready to do for you, but yet on the big screen. So that you can see it better. So you might not see some of this, but that's even my verses and stuff. I don't know how much you'll be able to see, but we'll just see what happens as I go. I will read most of it and explain too. So anyway, however, then once I thought about it, I decided, it's better that I do it myself, because like right now I have control over all this, and it was just easier. And of course I had to get a big screen TV and I would do that, and there was some hassle there, but it turned out. And of course, I found also out that I like big screens, but I got a light one that I could, if I'm ever asked to do this talk somewhere else, which I'm really not that interested to do. The reason why I'm doing this video is so I can stop telling people bits and pieces, or I'm tired of doing this. I've been warning people on the street since 2011. When I found out about the conspiracy theory and how close things were. All right. Oh, anyway, hey, I just noticed something. I got to go ahead and refocus the camera. Turned it back on. It flashed back for the regular spot. But anyway, this first picture is a screenshot of the fact that the Bohemian Grove actually exists. I'll show you. This is a Google Earth. See, there it is right there. See that? That might be a way I'm going to do this. I might have to get up and down and focus on some of the important things I want you to see. Okay, anyway, let's go ahead and focus back on the whole screen here. Again, let's see here. And I'll bring up the next picture. Okay. So let's see how things work out here. Okay, like I said, this part's going to take time. So, let me actually, speaking of time, I meant to have to add like a couple of minutes. Anyway, regardless, it's better that I'm doing it myself and plus the fact that I found out it's longer than I wanted to be. And see, there's a lot of things. See, like my last testimony, that took an hour. Okay, I cut that extremely short, but I really wanted everybody to know everything that's occurred to me, especially so people understand why I believe what I believe and why I believe that God's behind me in all this. I mean, even other things that happen that I'm not even going to talk about. God's still dealing with things and helping me out and having me go where He wants me to go. Anyway, let's get rid of this one. The bottom line, about as soon as I finish this, I'm going to burn as many DVDs as I can, and I'm going to start going around and handing them all out. That's my next phase of. Now, this next picture, you're not going to like it. Okay, this is from. I'm not going to discuss it. I'm just going to show you, and then I'm going to let you people decide from there. See this stuff here? Okay. Let's see if I can't get a better focus on that, maybe, in case you can't see. All right, see that? That happened in Iraq, okay, by ISIS, from the Religion of Peace. See that middle picture, that little boy hanging by the neck against that wall with his pants down? He's like no more 3 years old. That is an insult. This is coming from Islam, the so-called Religion of Peace, okay? I mean, come on, people. And you know what is the only crime of these children? Their parents were Christians. That's the only crime. That's it. Okay? This little baby here, it's still in diapers. My God. Actually, I repeated that over here too. You know. Dang. Okay. Anyway, that's enough of that. That is still part of the conspiracy theory too, because the sad thing about it is when some of the things that I caught said by these Freemason guys. There's one guy named Colonel Pike, I believe, a big fat guy from the Scottish Rite, 33rd degree Freemason. This was 1800s, middle 1800s. He predicted the. Get rid of this thing. He predicted the First World War. He predicted the Second World War, and he said the Third World War will be between Islam and Israel. And what's going on right now? And that's going to bring in. See, the sad thing about it, I mean, the left. Here's the owl. Okay, the sad thing about the left needs chaos in the United States. That's why they're doing what they're doing. The left needs martial law in order to bring in the Antichrist. The left needs to disarm the citizens of the United States, because the United States of America is the last stronghold before the Antichrist can rise. Why? Because we're full of Christians of all kinds. I'll get on that subject here a little bit later. But in the meantime, we're pretty well on the same page, and we wouldn't let it happen. Okay, so what's going on between us and Islam and all this other and all the chaos and what's going on where you parents out there allowed the left-wing satanic Democrat education system brainwash your kids to where we got these snowflakes running around protesting and doing damage and doing all this stuff in lieu of protesting. When it's not protesting, it's breaking the law, and protesting does not include breaking the law. Okay, and all these threats and how they're they're threatening Trump, and I mean it used to be a crime to say you're going to kill the president. If one conservative came right out on YouTube or anything, they could say they're going to kill Obama when he was in office, man, that guy would be in jail so quick it'd be sad. I am sorry, man. President Trump is the best president we've had in years, and as far as I'm concerned, is a God gift. And same with the vice president, but I'm not going to talk about that. What I do like about the vice president at the RNC, he says, I'm a Christian first, a conservative second, and I am a Republican third, in that order. Now, if he's a true Christian, that's good. Okay, and people got to think about that. That's good. Now, everybody's talking about Cruz. All right. Well, unfortunately, I was for Cruz too, and I still, I voted for him in the primary because I was just, I was still leery about Trump until later. Anyway, but one time I saw them all on the stage during one of the debates. There's only like 5 of them left, maybe, and Cruz had his hand in his jacket. Okay, you know how like the whole Napoleon thing had his hand in the jacket. Well, I found out all that Freemasonry stuff that I learned that is a sign of Freemason. So then I went online to on my social media to see if anybody noticed that, and people are already talking about it. And now if Cruz is only a 32nd degree Freemason, there's no problem. The problem doesn't happen until they do 33rd degree, and they're appointed. They're appointed, and they get possessed, and then they get rich. Okay, that's what they do. But anyway, but this is the owl. Okay, you can see that. I mean, there's no. I don't even have to bring that in. That's that stone owl. Okay, and that's. Oh yeah, and by the way, it talks about Skull and Bones, which both President Bushes were in. Skull and Bones is a satanic fraternity at Yale. Okay, I see stuff on that. You got. That's another thing you guys need to Google: Skull and Bones. Okay, and they got a picture of some the young, pretty high up, who are politicians high up. They got a picture of them with a skull and crossbones, and that's a masonry thing I found out. Okay, the skull and crossbone thing. Okay, because if they didn't like you, they kill you. They cut off your femur or whatever, your I don't know, below your knees, and lay that across your chest. That's where that Freemasons did. You'd be surprised all the things came from Freemasonry, blackball and 3rd degree and all this stuff. I mean, you'd be surprised where it came from that. But see, the thing is, most Freemasons don't know. Okay, mass majority don't even have the clue. Well, just like that 3-hour Freemason thing that gave me a lot of information. It was basically showing how satanic this place was, that they were. And then the last 15 minutes of the last segment was, look how much Freemasons does for everybody. Yeah, everybody, look at this. Oh my goodness, look how good they do. And they shine the whole Freemason thing again. And for those of you that see this, that aren't Freemasons, get out. Period. Okay, that's it. They're satanic. Sorry. Anyway. Now what else be? Oh, now this is an interesting situation here. Whoops, what happened here? I didn't want that. Uh-oh. I might be... here. Okay. Now this is something my friend brought me that I didn't believe until I saw it. But there's a video out that says, from Joe Reddit, says, Obama is gay and Michelle is a tranny. Okay, and you have to Google that, okay, and watch what they say about all that. I'm not going to say nothing. You got to see these videos. You could find it by Googling Joan Rivers, and YouTube will eventually pop up, and you will find this in there. You watch and see. Now, I haven't really tested fully tested one of the things they're talking about. They talk about the hand thing. I am going to be testing that as I go now, I believe. I meant to do that before I did the video. I forgot. Either way, there's still some question there. And so whatever, you need to see that. Because, see, it explains a lot of what ex-President Obama did, especially allowing the whole transgender thing in the military. And right now, this is what the time that this is 7/27/2017. Yesterday, President Trump announced that they're not going to allow transsexuals in there because of what they want. They want the taxpayers. This is the key. They want the taxpayers to pay for their sex changes. Do you really think these transgenders want to go in the military, to go to Iraq and Iran and Afghanistan and everything to get shot at and killed? They don't want that. They want the free sex change and the free drugs, and then probably, more than likely, they'll end up drawing freaking disability. I know of a person that did that. He dressed himself, I mean, he made himself with all the hormones and surgeries exactly like a woman, except he still had a penis. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. And so he castrated himself, and then instead, and the government put him on disability. Give me a break. Ha! You know, and that's what you think these people want. Equal rights? No, they want the free sex change and the disability and the drugs, because they will not ever probably be combat ready again once they get this, because if they don't have the hormones constantly, they revert back to whatever they were to begin with. Okay, their birth sex. And see, bottom line, and I hate it, people, bottom line but all this is people are saying that God made a mistake when he created you. God does not make mistakes. The mistakes is yours, and it's all due to sin and lust, period. But the thing is that you Christians out there too, now don't just get on all the LGTB and what in the world is Q, okay, because in God's eyes it's all the same. The adultery and the fornication and everything else. I mean, any major. I mean, even I even believe that married couples can sin when it comes to sex if it's nothing but sheer lust instead of sharing love and for the primary purpose of having offspring, because that's what sex is supposed to be about the reward of creating other human beings. That's what that's supposed to be about. Bond between one man and one woman. That's what that's supposed to be about. Nobody has the right to marriage, and nobody has the right, especially nobody has the right to go in the military, period. You might say you have other things. There's other equal rights you do have, but nobody has those two rights. I'm sorry. Anyway, you need to see that. So enough for that right there. What's this here? Oh yeah. Hang on a minute. I got to do something. Okay, hang on. All right. Now this was a part of the satanic Hollywood and music industry. You're going to be surprised at this. Okay. As soon as it loads. See that? That's Justin Bieber. That's Justin Bieber kissing a guy. Oh yeah, I just noticed I could do that. That's Justin Bieber kissing a guy. Now, I will say this. Let me get out of that. I will say this. Okay. A few months ago, I can't remember, last year I think, I heard, I caught online on my social media that Justin Bieber made a change. Apparently, this Hollywood preacher been going around and converting the Hollywood people and converting the music industry people, and the people are getting saved. And I actually just heard that recently. I think it was just on Focal Appointment with Brian Fisher. He just repeated that Justin Bieber just got through canceling his tour to possibly going to starting a church, or I don't know, whatever, you know. Now this picture here, I got this about 2015 possibly. I can't remember exactly when I got it, but I had it for a little while. And this is that guy that got in trouble for anyway. This is the mark of the beast. This is called the very chip. Okay, that's called the very chip. I don't know if you could, let me focus in a little bit more on that. See that right there? That's called the very chip. All right. How I found out about that, I googled 666 and the very chip popped up, and all the information on the very chip, they say that if you everything's on it, it GPSs you, and then it oh yeah, I forgot about that. It GPSs you, and then it has all your money on it, and it has all your medical records on it. And on my YouTube page, I got saved about this very chip. I got saved the different videos about it. I also got in here, I'm not going to let you read it, but I got a technical information on the very chip that talks about what it does. But main thing is one of the videos I found about the very chip was one of the ladies that was a spokesperson for the company that made it. Says if you don't like it, we cut you off. Okay, like I said, I got a lot of the videos saved on my YouTube, and they also showed how it possibly work and all that other, and oh yeah, let me find this one other. I got another movie. What did I do with it though? Hang on a minute. Let me find something here. See if I could find something. Talking about the very chip. What made me get excited to do this, I have to find the location of it. No, I don't know what I did with it. What did I call it? Let me look at the date. Just did it. Is today 7/27? 7/25. No, that's it. No. See what this is. Hang on a minute. I gotta find. They had a news snippet, and actually, I'm gonna tell you how this very chip works. I mean, let me see what this document is here. I don't think this is what I want. I might have to put this other chip in. I don't know. I've got this. No, that's not it. Oh, well, actually, this is one of the documents I do need. This was rumors and propaganda of the global warming. Something I'm going to be talking about later. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. That's part of the. That's actually the global warming is part of the conspiracy theory. There is none. Never mind. I don't know if I'll get to that right now. Anyway, trying to find this TV. Anyway, let me put this other one in. I recorded the TV talking about a company, some company somewhere is using this very chip and chipping its people. Somewhere local maybe, I think. But I have to find exactly where it might be. Wow, I don't know. Anyway, let me get this other. Where's it at? Blast. I lost it. What did I do with it? You know, I might have killed that. It was on my. I remember. Oh man, I might have killed it. I don't know. I might have put it on. I might have accidentally put it on. Blended it in with my other video. I never did play it back. Well, either way, there's a company out there that's doing this, okay? And of course they said because the reporter asked, Channel 13 reporter asked, can you get GPS? And they says no, it's too small. Well, according to the very chip document, this one here, right? This very chip document, yes, it does GPS. I'm just sure you that the document exists. And I got an hour, I got to keep on going, make sure I get what I want said. about the mark of the beast. I want to get done with this. It's slowing. But just take my word for it. I'm gonna get through this. I'm not gonna. I can show you first. I can show you some. Okay, right here. Let me. This one I want to show. I want to show you this one. Okay, I can't show you everything because I'm running out of time. It's taking too long to load this. This right here. This is the Masonic. This is one of their. Somebody that's reporting on them. This is the Masonic religion should be, by all of us initiates of the high degree, maintain and the purity of the Luciferian doctrine. Yes, Luciferian doctrine. That's what he said. That's the guy. General Albert Pike, 33rd degree instructions, July 14, 1889. Call Dr. Marquez for more information. And this is where you. I got to call. I should have called that number. I don't know why I never did. 409-552-7313. Okay, and that same thing. He's got. I got a lot more screenshots for that. Let's see what else I got. Oh yeah, here's let's see, population. Oh, here's something that's interesting. I want you to see this one. Okay, I want you to see this one. It's this Illuminati's New World conspiracies. Okay, the people are the cause of all the problems. We have too many of them. We need to get rid of some of them. And this ban of DDT was a good way of, as any. I don't know what that exactly meant when I got that, but I've got, let's see, Ted Turner says something about this. Hang on, this is what he said. Come on, load. Okay, a total world population of 250 to 300 million people, a 95% decline from present levels would be ideal. Okay, I mean, come on, dude. You know. Oh, here's the Soul Travelers. What his icon looks like. Show you that. That's why I knew it was something weird. See that? It's kind of all that. That's, yeah. Anyway. You need to Google that and find it and see and watch it. 5-hour video. Okay, here's something interesting. This is for, again, more left wing stuff. All right. This is a cartoon that when some of my Patriot people sent to me, and I did a screenshot. Anyway, this is a cartoon about same scenario, same people, same scenario. 4 times. Okay, watch this. It says, "You beat him. What's the matter with you? To death. What's the matter with you? You strangled him. It doesn't say to death. What's the matter with you? You stabbed him. What's the matter with you? You shot him. We got to do something about guns." Okay, now that's self-explanatory, and I'm not even going to get into this. A bunch of other Mason stuff and Mason sayings. This was interesting here. I don't know what this means. It was amongst some pictures that I kept them aware even. But this is a picture of Mary standing over the pyramids. I have no idea. Okay? I have no idea. Alright, well that's actually, I got another Mark of the Beast. Yeah, I wish I figured out. I think you might have already watched that. You might have watched that clip. Because when I blended things, I forgot about that. I might have blended that into the other. I don't know. I didn't watch it. I just knew I got it burnt, and I just went for it. So what happened? I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, you did see if it is on the other first DVD. I guess I have to take time to play it. Okay, well, that's enough for all all that should prove that there is a conspiracy theory, and that things are. Let's see. Don't need that. Let me get out of this. Let me get out of these here. Okay, don't need that. Oh well, I'll go back to that. I haven't posted that yet. I haven't posted my DVD yet on. I got it. It's in YouTube, my first one, but I haven't posted it yet because I'm trying to figure out how to get my words on there in the edit part of it before I post it. Okay, I got an hour to do the rest of this. Well, what did I just do that for? Hang on. All right, now let me get back into my little. My speech is on this other device here. Let's see where I'm at. I forgot to talk to you. I think I know where I'm at. I think I'm about ready to. Like it says, my YouTube is DLWorks7734, and basically you'll find all that and more. It's a lot of stuff. Some is just for information only. Some I was just curious about. It's kind of weird, but concentrate on all the things that have meaning. The Catholic Church and everything. Okay, all that's in there. Anyway, but see, I said all this to show you that God indeed has given me a job to do. I am the missionary to the Christian, or those that claim they are for sure. I am ordained of God, powered and taught by the Holy Spirit, and called of Jesus Christ to warn the churches. That's my primary goal, although I'm warning the world too. Okay? All this happened to me. It had to happen, whether it was good or bad. It was all to bring me to this point in time in hopes to wake up the churches before it's too late. And you all will be unprepared. We have a reprieve right now, thanks to Donald Trump and people getting out and voting, but I don't know how long it lasts. Revelation has to happen. The conspiracy theory showed me that everything is ready to go. It's time to wake up, Christian. It's time for the church to get political, and I found out why they don't, and it's all over. And it's all over the whole thing that this one president snuck in there about the whole non-profit rules, and the Christian was stupid enough to let them slip that in there. But even so, I'm gonna tell you straight out: if I ever was a pastor, and I had the same attitudes now, and I was a pastor of church, I would forsake all non-profit status in order to take and speak the truth, and be able to tell the people what's going on and tell them to vote right, and to get political in the pulpit, especially when it comes to conservative values. Okay, it's time for the church to get political. Like I said, we got to keep on top of this God-given administration. Make sure he does what he promised, and then vote properly. 2018 to stop all the interference from the rhinos. The rhinos are Republicans in name only. Okay, all the people that are hindering this administration from getting stuff done, and maybe giving it a few years before this stuff has to happen. We can have up to 16, 20 years of reprieve if we get out there and do something about this. We might not have, but you know what I'm worried about? Because I've seen this in the scripture. One king of Judah. I don't know if it was the Judah one or the other 10 tribes one, but either way, he sinned. And God gave him a boil or something. He was about ready to die. I think it's Mercer, probably. Because boils are Mercer sometimes. Anyway, and he prayed to God, and God gave him some years because of repenting, but he still had to go early, okay, and lose his kingdom, whatever. And it might be too late for us, Christian, when the Christians that were in power in 1963 allowed the U.S. Supreme Court to step out of their bounds, okay, and I found out it started way earlier, but especially here, we lost his country. The Christian lost his country. The Supreme Court cannot make laws, and this is time we all stand up to it. They can only make rulings. All laws, it is in the Constitution, straight and plain, all laws is made by Congress and signed by the President, period. Okay, they can only make rulings, and then the rulings don't only apply to whatever court case is in front of them. That's it. That does not apply to. We've allowed that to happen. I didn't realize it was going on until just recently. How long it's been going on? But the Christian that was in charge back in '63 should have stood up right then and says no. Okay, when they talked about the fake separation of church and state, okay, and they said that you had to take the Bible out of school. There is no separation of church and state. There's way a lot of evidence where the founding fathers did define this country on biblical principles. The freedom, even the freedom of religion, which I still say should mean all religion, but even the freedom of religion clause, if you were to take what they were talking about, they were talking about the Christian denominations, which I'm against anyway. But okay, so that and the only one that can violate the amendment, freedom of religion Theo, is Congress. It says Congress cannot establish a state church. That's what the problem we had with that's the problem we had with the King of England. He established a state church. Okay, that's the only violation of the Second Amendment. So, okay, where am I at here? Okay, President Trump has all the constitutional authority to do all what he's doing, or I should say trying to do. The problem is President doesn't know the Constitution or the law, so he's being either ill-advised or what? I don't know, but I said it's time to get rid of the people that are hindering him. Okay, you could tweet the president. I actually said God bless you, and he says right back at you, buddy. Because I've been tweeting him ever since. But I mean, I don't know how many people he does or doesn't respond to. That was probably a once in a lifetime quirk. It just happened, and it may never happen again. I am going to message him here and there. At times just to see what happens. It's just curious. Of course, if I do it more, the more persistent I am, maybe the more ability I get a response. I don't know. But anyway, he does read his Twitters. I don't know if he has Facebook. I never there, but send him messages. Organized protests of conservatives to make our voices heard. Hey, the left keep protesting left and right. We need massive conservative protests to get out there, and not like the Berkeley, California one, where the conservatives were disarmed, the police disappeared, and the paid violent protests paid by George Soros has been proven started to attack people. If we protest, we carry whatever the law allows us to carry, period. Time for turning the other cheek is over. I don't know about anyone else, but I've ran out of cheeks to turn. I know that's not exactly very God-loving like, but I've had enough. In some of these cases, it's actually all-out war, and God has nothing against us fighting legitimate wars, because in the end, that's really what's going to be. It's going to be a holy war between Christianity and between Islam. I'm sorry, that's just, and of course Israel is going to be involved in this too. All right. Okay, where's it at here? Okay, at times I said, okay, we don't, if we don't go on the offense, okay, then we're going to lose it. The God wants the Christian to go out on a major defense in these last times. I think it's time for all forms of defense, but there's passive defense. Like the defense I'm talking about is not grabbing your arms and guns and going out shooting things. That's what they want. That's the sad thing about it. That's exactly what they want, and that's what we got to avoid unless it is defense. If they come after us with their guns, or they come after our guns, if you have any, then yeah, it's defense. But the passive defense works best. Get the people in your office locally, and everything, and nationwide. Get the people in there that have conservative values and stand up for yourself. Anyway, that's enough for all that. So bottom line, most of the conspiracy theory is through, and all you need to do is search it up for yourself. I think I'm going to take another break here because I'm going to regain my thoughts. I'm right at an hour and 10 minutes, maybe an hour and 15, because I forgot to start it again. And the next theory, of course, is the gap theory. I'm going to refresh my memory what I'm talking about here, and then I'll get back with this. All right, thank you. Okay, people, I'm back. I was looking my stuff over so I can make sure I remember how I wanted to do it, so I can run smoothly over the next two theories, the gap theory, and so on and so forth. And I realized I've used an hour and 15 minutes of a 2-hour space on these DVDs that I'm burning. So what I decided to do, and of course I looked at my stuff, I realized I cannot do the gap theory in the 45 minutes I have left, so that's going to be a separate seat. That's going to be a separate one. It gives me 2 hours space to do that right, and then same with the rapture theory. It'll be 2 hours for that, so I guess that's the way I'm going to have to do this. However, what I'm going to do to use up some more space for this DVD number 2 is I'm going to play another video, something else I ran across in all that conspiracy theory backlash searching I've started doing. And it's called Amazing First Verse of the Bible. And is that self-explanatory? Get my tang dongle here. It's self-explanatory, so I'm just going to play it, and should see right there.
Let's continue to examine 2 more scientific unknowables of the very first verse in the Bible. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. In the very first verse of the Bible, we find a remarkable piece of evidence of supernatural authorship. In the beginning, time, God created the heavens, space, and the earth, matter. The Bible speaks of the creation of time, space, and matter in the very first verse. For thousands of years, scientists and philosophers had speculated about the basic components or makeup of the universe. It wasn't until the 20th century that physicists confirmed that the universe and its foundation consists of space, time, and matter. In fact, space and time are so tightly linked that astrophysicists now speak of a space-time continuum. While scientific and philosophical speculations about the basic structure of the universe has varied widely, the fact that the universe consists basically of space, time, and matter, a scientifically accepted fact since the 20th century, was clearly foreseen in the very first verse of the Bible, written 30 centuries ago. How could the writer of Genesis and the first verse of the Bible have known of this scientific truth that would not be confirmed until over 2,000 years later? But also, in the very first verse of the Bible, we find yet another astounding piece of evidence of supernatural or divine authorship. First, consider this. It is an undeniable fact that the number 7 is a biblical number of completion or perfection, or specifically divine authorship. Over 500 times in the Bible, the number 7 is used to show the touch of God or divinity upon something. This begins with these 7 first days of creation, and the 7th being declared by God as holy. When we look at the natural world around us, we discover that there are amazing arrays of 7s. There are 7 continents on the globe. Modern geographical classification schemes count 7 oceans in the world. There are 7 colors in a rainbow. There are 7 notes on a musical scale. There are 7 stars in the Big Dipper, and this heavenly sign has been used to point to the North Star, or the guiding star, since the most ancient of times. 7 objects in our solar system are visible to the naked eye. 7 digits in a row has been proven over and over to be the average limit of memory for most human beings. Thus, we have only 7 digits in our phone numbers. There are 7 metals of antiquity upon which civilization was based. The periodic table of elements consists of 7 distinct levels. And on the 7s in the world around us go, each representing God's divine touch of completeness upon something. Now, with this in mind, consider again the very first words of the Bible, the very first verse, one sentence, translated in English as, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." It contains exactly 10 words. But in the original Hebrew, there are exactly 7 words. And these 7 words possess 7 distinctive features of the number 7 contained within that sentence. As far as anyone has been able to determine thus far, only this one verse in all the Bible contains 7 features of the number 7 out of 7 words. Consider these 7 features. Feature number 1. The number of Hebrew words in this verse is exactly 7. Feature 2. The total number of Hebrew letters in the 7 words is exactly 28, or 4 times 7. Feature 3. The 3 leading words in this verse of 7 words are, of course, God, the subject, and heavens and earth, the objects. The number of letters in the Hebrew words that make up these 3 words is exactly 14, or 2 times 7. The number of letters in the remaining words of the verse is also 14, or 2 times 7. Feature number 4. The expression of the 2 objects of this sentence, the heavens and the earth, in Hebrew, is made up of 14 letters, or 2 times 7. Feature number 5. The shortest word is in the middle. The number of letters in this word and the word to its left is 7. The number of letters in the middle word and the word to its right is also 7. Feature number 6. There are 3 important nouns in this first verse: God, heaven, and earth. The numeric gematria values of these 3 nouns are 86, 395, and 296, respectively. Gematria is the 3,000-year-old Hebrew rabbinical practice of assigning numerical values to each of the Hebrew letters. When these 3 numerical values are added together, the total value is 777, or 777, or 111 times 7. In God's manner of biblical expression, this triple intensification of his perfect number 7 is the strongest possible manner of speaking the touch of his divinity. And feature number 7, the numeric value of the only Hebrew verb in this verse, created, or bara, is 203, which is exactly 29 times 7. These 7s, these numeric features or facts, are strangely hidden beneath the surface. They are truly beyond the view of ordinary readers of the Hebrew text, and they are discovered only by special investigation and counting. Surely they could not have been foreseen or purposely placed there by the original author. According to the law of chances, for any one feature of a 7-word sentence to be a multiple of 7 accidentally is only 1 chance in 7. But for 7 features of this one 7-word sentence to be a multiple of 7 accidentally is 1 chance in 823,543. An exponentially amazing impossibility, especially considering that the number 7 is used purposely by the biblical writers over 500 times from Genesis to Revelation to indicate the divine touch of God. It is as though God is telling those who have eyes to see in the very first verse that his divine touch is upon this word we call the Bible. This startling revelation of 7s has only been discovered in the last few years of human history.
Alrighty then. Hang on, let me go put my glasses on. Alright, so now I'm going to talk a little bit more. All the videos there. But anyway, and I was thinking about that video I made of the news talking about the berry chip. being put into workers, I may have accidentally lost that. So, oh well. But however, I am going to try to locate it on channel 30. You go to, or you actually go to Fox 13, Tampa Bay, and probably look for Chip and looking for a news item on their websites about Chip and chips being put in, employees' hands, and you might be able to find it for yourself. But take my word for it, there's a company trying to force their people into doing that. So it's here, people. Now, anyway, let's get back to the verse thing. Actually, see what what this does for me. Hang on a minute. Let me sign in this other little device I got. Alrighty then. Okay, there we go. Of course, that's I gotta go. Hurry up. Hang on a minute. Now I was going over it and I scanned too far down. Now I got to go up a bit here to get to the top part. I am going to talk a little bit about some of this so I can squeeze it all in here. Where are we at here? Okay. Okay, to start with, well, let me get to the clip I just showed you. See, that to me shows definitely divine authorship of the Bible. Of course, he didn't specify, but the writer, of course, for those who are Christians, know it was Moses. Now, that Ganatra, I think they called it, deal where they put numbers. See, other than the 10 Commandments that God wrote in stone with his finger, that first verse was the first thing that God dictated through the Holy Spirit for Moses to write. There was no Ganatra then. That was God doing. So that does that to shows that the whole thing is divine. And also, to me, it shows that the first verse stands alone. Because if you think about it, if you believe with all your mind, heart, and soul that God created everything, period, and devoted yourself to that concept that he's the creator of everything, you won't have to have anything else. You would, if you accept it. I mean, that's all he really wants, is that for people to accept the truth. But anyway, briefly, let's touch up what this whole gap theory is about. It started, I was told, in the 1800s. Christians were said to come up with the idea to explain the so-called millions of years that scientists were saying has gone by for the Earth. First off, I don't have to make excuses for someone trying to pass as scientist says. Anyway, I did, like every good American nowadays, and I asked my smartphone about the gap theory. One thing I didn't know, it was also called the creation restorative theory, which is kind of like my idea, but I have a bit more. You see, when I first heard about the gap theory long ago, I kept doing the studying and stuff, and it is when I got the Hebrew English translation Bible, the first one in '95, and then of course the programs, that's when I started saying, wait a minute, I think there is a gap between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, and not because I'm trying to make excuses for scientists, okay, is because of what the Hebrew says. And this is what I'm going to be showing. Now, before I get too far into this, because I want to be able to try to fit all this, the meat of this into the other video. That's why I'm using up some of this time on this one, okay? Because I knew it said years between. I knew the gap theory meant they were saying there's millions of years between Genesis 1 to 2 to explain what the so-called scientists were starting to say about the age of the Earth, but that was all, okay, until I started putting this together. So, but see, what I'm going to be showing you here in a little bit, okay, is what the Hebrew actually says. and I'll be explaining to you about some verses, and I'll be talking to you about some verses that, and remember, I think I mentioned earlier, possibly in my testimony, that there's some verses that I had that I didn't have, and then I found, and all this other, and I'll be telling you as I go what those are, and try to remind you how I found them and all that. But anyway, I believe with all that, with my next video, I am going to start ragging. I'm going to start ragging on the scientists, and I'm going to hopefully wake all you people up out there, both Christian and non-Christian alike, about the truth of what these scientists are really doing. Okay, so this is going to be the end of this video. Okay, that should pretty well fill a DVD. So the next one, I'm going to talk about the scientists, and then I'm going to show you from the scripture, and also another picture that I did get from the scientist, and show you through that why I believe in a gap theory. And then there's something I'm going to add onto that is quite different than what the original people are saying. So you'll figure that one out. But that right there, you'll see. Okay. All right. Bye-bye. Thank you.